the day with about a 15-mile run, transition to a celery juice and beet smoothie, and then we're gonna wrap up the morning with writing, I think, the first 2 chapters of my next novel.
Can you imagine? We are not going to do any of that, but I am going to show you guys how we can do a little something in the morning before work to feel like we're still working towards the things that we personally want. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Bougie Black Girls YouTube channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Dana, and today we are going to be talking about my realistic, productive 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5. Because it's January, I'm getting inundated with all of the That Girl content and the perfect morning routine, the perfect gym routine, all that good stuff. And I do like to drink the Kool-Aid a little bit, but oftentimes with that genre of content, especially here on YouTube, it can seem like if we're not doing the most, we shouldn't bother trying. So I just want to offer a little bit more of a digestible approach to having a productive morning. The first step in implementing a productive 5 to 9 routine is deciding how often you can actually do it. So for me, that looks like choosing 2, sometimes 3 days out of the week to have that early start. And then the rest of the week for me is just time to luxuriate and rest and sleep in. If you are a part of the group, hello, me, hi, I am your friend who really likes to sleep in until the very last minute. I think trying to wake up at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday immediately is just not going to be sustainable for you. And so I recommend kind of implementing it 1 to 2 days a week for a month, seeing how that goes, and then slowly upping the ante. And because I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm somebody who really prioritizes sleep, I kind of just have to listen to my brain and my body as I'm preparing for an early rise. Typically that means getting to bed at a very, very early time, for me at least. It's just typically in bed by 9:30 to try and be asleep by like 10:30 the night before. And that looks like me kind of just turning down the lights, putting my phone across the room, and reading a book in bed for an hour or two until I'm, feeling nice and sleepy. And then the following morning, that looks like me waking up at 5 a.m., but similarly not jumping right on my phone when I wake up, usually trying to just rest in bed for anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes, read a few more chapters of the book, or maybe watch something on my tablet. Just a slow start to my morning, so I am awake, but I'm not immediately doing things, which to me makes me more exhausted if I rush into my daily activities. Once I've had some morning time for myself, I then transition into getting ready to go work out. And let me tell you, getting up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to work out is super basic. There's no cute little compression shorts or gym sets over here to be found anywhere. Baseball cap, no wig, t-shirt, sweats. I'm going in looking like a linebacker to the gym at 6 a.m. And that is okay, because I've also kind of started operating from this philosophy of like, my morning workouts don't have to be on 100% all the time. I would say like 30 to 40% of the time, they actually are pretty shitty. I do think going to the gym and maybe giving like 50 to 60% is way better than staying home, staying in the bed, and giving 0% to any of your movement or your fitness goals. While my gym does allow recording, I kind of just like to respect my fellow gym goers, so I don't really film in there too much, especially when there's a lot of people. So I don't have a ton of footage of my workout for you guys, but a typical morning workout for me is typically 20 to 30 minutes, either on the elliptical, the Stairmaster, or a combination of the two, just kind of really getting in some morning cardio, trying to get those endorphins up. And I'm usually watching something that is very like motivational or, inspirational to me, that has like a music element to it. Beyonce, Meg Thee Stallion, sometimes a little bit of Kaytranada. I also do a lot of DJ sets from this YouTube channel called Black House Radio. So something that has just like a vibe that gets me moving and grooving and ready to tackle the day. And then in celebration of a job well done, I typically stop by the coffee shop and get myself a small coffee, still trying to let myself have a little bit of a caffeine treat in the day, but not overdo it. And I kind of just let, whatever I'm listening to continue to pump me up, hype me up on the way home, before I get home, get showered and changed and ready to tackle the rest of my day. Once I get home from my workout, it's pretty standard from there. I'm gonna hop in the shower, I'm gonna get changed, and I'm gonna put on makeup and fix my hair. My clothes are typically taken out for the entire week on Sunday, so that's a great little tip if you're somebody who's looking to save time and just hate the decision-making process in the morning. Makeup is never too complicated, but I do think if you're somebody who wears makeup, you should have like a go-to 15-minute face. And this is something that you can kind of just do under any sort of pressure or circumstances to still look and feel your best. And to me, I tend to be a lot more present if I am dressed in a manner that shows, I've shown up and I'm ready to be seen and be perceived. So most of the week, even when I'm working from home, like the day you guys are seeing today, I absolutely do still get dressed and put on makeup. It allows me to really be engaged. And then last but certainly not least, I kind of just finish out a productive morning with some additional me time. And so because I've already stopped for coffee on the way home, I don't really have to worry about making that. I normally prep something quick and easy to grab for breakfast. That's usually the only meal that I prep in advance for the week. That looks like my own DIY version of like Starbucks Egg Bites. There's a ton of those variants of recipes that I have for you guys on my TikTok channel if you want to check that out. And I take 45 minutes just to work on something that is totally selfish. And so a lot of times it's these YouTube videos that you guys are watching right now. Sometimes it's me working on, some of those goals and that goal setting that we talked about a couple of videos ago. Sometimes it's coloring a couple of pages in a coloring book. Sometimes it's watching another episode of whatever. And I kind of just do that all the way up until the point that I either have to, clock in for work if I'm working at home, or if I was working in an office, up until the point that I have to go commute and be present in the office. And depending on how long your commute is and how long you have to be in the car, you may decide to kind of get some, double bang for your buck and utilize your commute time as some of that selfish time. So I'm somebody who really enjoys just complete silence. And so maybe taking the morning commute to just enjoy the quiet. Maybe it's listening to an audiobook or listening to a podcast or a YouTuber that you really enjoy. Start thinking about that as more than just I'm getting to work, but also like this is some time before I have to go give myself to others, to pour into myself and to do something I enjoy while I'm on the road. So a productive 5 to 9 before your, muggle job does not have to be super complicated. I would just encourage you all to make it work for you. So maybe if you have to be to work at, 7 a.m., God help you if you do, you can bump the schedule up a little bit, and vice versa. Maybe you only do half of the things that I showed you here, maybe you do one of the things that I showed you on here. But I think definitely taking some time to care for yourself, particularly having a slow morning, can really kind of change the game when you're just trying to have a better outlook on the day and find those little pockets in your schedule to feed into yourself and to pour into yourself. That is all I'm going to have for you guys today. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Lots of fun things coming to the channel throughout the rest of 2026. Probably next week or maybe a little later on this week, I'm going to give you guys the evening counterpart to this. So if I'm trying to be productive after my 9 to 5, I'll show you guys what I do from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. to do so every once in a while. Yeah, that is all I have for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.